There is a supplement I have talked about for years because it sits at the intersection of three things women frequently ask me about: energy, fat metabolism, and mental clarity. It is called acetyl L-carnitine, or ALCAR, and if you have searched for it online, you have probably seen some very big promises. Burn more fat, boost your metabolism, turn fat into energy, supercharge your mitochondria. But here's where I want this conversation to be different. I use ALCAR, I discuss ALCAR in my wellness work, and I dedicated an entire chapter of our new wellness program, the Ultimate Fat Loss Blueprint System, to it. But none of that gives me permission to tell you that a supplement melts fat. It doesn't. So today I want to show you what ALCAR actually is, what the mitochondria really have to do with it, where the fat loss idea came from, what human research has actually found, and what the evidence cannot yet prove. Because a supplement can be useful without being magic, and understanding that difference is one of the most important things we can do for our health. Before we go deeper, if this is the kind of wellness conversation you have been looking for, I would love for you to subscribe to our channel. At STARR Wellness Solutions, my purpose is to take complicated wellness topics and make them understandable, practical, and evidence-informed, especially for women navigating midlife and healthy aging. So please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It tells YouTube that this information is valuable, and it helps us continue creating conversations about nutrition, movement, metabolism, stress, mindset, and sustainable wellness. Now let's get into the science. Let's start by correcting one piece of terminology. ALCAR is sometimes described as an amino acid. Technically, that isn't quite right. Carnitine is an amino acid-derived compound that the human body can make from the amino acids lysine and methionine, and acetyl L-carnitine is the acetylated form of L-carnitine. That may sound like a small distinction, but I think accuracy matters. Healthy people can generally synthesize the carnitine they need. In fact, there is no established recommended dietary allowance for carnitine because it is not considered an essential nutrient for most healthy adults. So ALCAR is not something every person is automatically deficient in, and that immediately changes the conversation. We're not talking about replacing a universally missing nutrient. We're talking about whether supplemental ALCAR may influence particular biological processes or outcomes. Carnitine itself plays a central role in cellular energy metabolism. Long-chain fatty acids cannot simply drift into the inner part of the mitochondria and begin burning. They need a transport system. That system is called the carnitine shuttle. This is where the fat metabolism story begins, but there is an important nuance. Free L-carnitine is the key player in the classic shuttle that helps move long-chain fatty acids toward the mitochondrial matrix for beta oxidation. ALCAR belongs to that same carnitine pool, but because it carries an acyl group, it also participates in acyl group metabolism and has additional biological characteristics. So when somebody says ALCAR transports fat directly into your mitochondria and therefore makes you lose fat, they have taken a real piece of biology and stretched it far beyond what it proves. The mitochondria are often called the powerhouses of the cell, but I want to make that more meaningful. Mitochondria take fuels, including products derived from carbohydrates and fatty acids, and use them in pathways that ultimately help generate ATP. ATP is the energy currency your cells use to perform work. Movement requires ATP. Your heart requires ATP. Your brain requires ATP. Repair requires ATP. Life requires ATP. Carnitine is relevant because fatty acid oxidation is one pathway contributing to cellular energy production, and ALCAR can be converted within cellular metabolism into acetyl-CoA and free carnitine. Acetyl-CoA can then participate in the citric acid cycle and other metabolic processes. That makes ALCAR biologically interesting, but here is the distinction that matters enormously for a fat loss video. Helping a biochemical pathway function does not automatically mean taking more of a compound makes that pathway run faster in a healthy person. Think about it this way. Your car needs an oil system to run. That does not mean adding twice as much oil makes the car twice as fast. Human metabolism has rate-limiting steps: hormonal regulation, enzyme activity, energy demand, food intake, training status, nutrient availability, genetics, and multiple feedback systems. So ALCAR's involvement in mitochondrial metabolism gives us a plausible biological mechanism. It does not give us proof that taking ALCAR automatically increases fat loss. That distinction is the foundation for everything else we're going to discuss. Now we reach the question that probably brought many of you here. Does it help with fat loss? Here is where we have to separate ALCAR specifically from the broader research on L-carnitine and carnitine supplements. Most of the clinical weight loss research has studied L-carnitine or grouped forms of carnitine together. It has not primarily been a body of ALCAR-specific fat loss trials. And that means we should not take a finding about L-carnitine and automatically claim that ALCAR has been proven to produce the same result. With that said, carnitine supplementation has been studied in randomized controlled trials. A 2016 systematic review and meta-analysis combined 9 randomized trials involving more than 900 adults. On average, participants receiving carnitine lost approximately 1.3 kilograms more than comparison groups. That's roughly 3 pounds. A larger 2020 meta-analysis, including 37 randomized trials, also found modest reductions in body weight, BMI, and fat mass. But there are important caveats. The studies differed substantially. Populations differed, doses differed. Some participants had overweight or obesity. Some had metabolic disease. Some interventions included other lifestyle or medical treatments. And the strongest analysis of higher quality trials did not confirm every body composition outcome. So how should we interpret this? Not as carnitine burns fat, and certainly not ALCAR will make you lose 3 pounds. The better conclusion is carnitine supplementation may have a modest supportive effect on body weight in some populations, but it is not a standalone weight loss treatment. And the evidence is stronger for L-carnitine broadly than for ALCAR specifically. That may not make a flashy social media headline, but it is much more useful because it lets us place ALCAR where it belongs, as a possible supporting tool, not the foundation. Chapter 6 of my blueprint also discusses metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility simply describes the body's ability to shift appropriately between fuel sources depending on what is available and what the body needs. Sometimes more carbohydrate oxidation is appropriate. Sometimes more fatty acid oxidation is appropriate. The goal is not to burn fat every second of the day. The goal is to have a metabolism capable of responding appropriately. Carnitine is involved in fatty acid metabolism, so researchers have naturally asked whether supplementation could influence metabolic health. There are studies, particularly in people with type 2 diabetes, suggesting that L-carnitine supplementation may modestly affect markers such as HbA1c, BMI, or some cardiovascular risk factors. But once again, those findings are population specific. They are mostly L-carnitine data. They do not establish ALCAR as a treatment for insulin resistance. And they certainly do not mean you should replace balanced meals, movement, sleep, or medical care with a supplement. This is exactly why I use the word support. A supplement may support a biological process. A supplement may fill a particular need. A supplement may be useful in a broader plan. But sustainable body composition change still depends on the environment you create around it. Your nutrition, your protein intake, your total energy balance, your movement, your muscle, your sleep, your recovery, your stress, and the consistency with which those things happen. That is far less exciting than selling a magic capsule, but it is how biology actually works. Now let's talk about something much more personal, energy. In Chapter 6, I share that ALCAR is one of the few supplements where I personally notice a difference when I stop taking it. For me, the difference is most noticeable in energy, mental sharpness, and how effortful my workouts feel. That is my experience, and I want to keep it in exactly that category. Personal experience is not clinical proof. Your experience may be completely different. Research on carnitine and exercise performance has been mixed. Some studies have reported improvements in aspects of performance or recovery. Others have found little or no meaningful benefit. That is why even the National Institutes of Health describes the evidence for athletic performance as inconsistent. There is, however, some intriguing ALCAR-specific research, in particular older populations. For example, one randomized placebo-controlled study in pre-frail older adults reported improvements in 6-minute walking distance and some cognitive measures after ALCAR supplementation. That is interesting. But it was a specific clinical population. It was not a trial showing that healthy women over 40 take ALCAR and suddenly have better workouts. So this is the position I want you to hear. If someone personally experiences improved energy or focus with ALCAR, that experience can be real and meaningful, but we should not turn that experience into a universal promise. That is how we stay evidence-based without dismissing what individuals actually feel. So why choose ALCAR instead of standard L-carnitine? This is one of the more interesting distinctions. ALCAR carries an acyl group and has demonstrated the ability to reach the central nervous system. Oral administration has been shown to increase ALCAR concentrations in cerebrospinal fluid, which supports its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. That is one reason ALCAR has been studied so extensively in neurological research. Researchers have investigated it in areas such as cognitive impairment, neuropathy, mood disorders, and aging. But I want to correct another easy exaggeration. The fact that ALCAR reaches the brain does not mean it has been proven to make every healthy person smarter, sharper, or more focused. Older studies in people with mild cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease produced mixed findings. Some analyses found modest benefits on certain measures. Other systematic reviews concluded that the evidence was not strong enough to recommend routine use for dementia. That is an important lesson. Mechanism and possibility are not the same thing as a guaranteed outcome. Still, this brain availability is one reason ALCAR remains scientifically interesting, and one reason some people, including me, describe a subjective difference in mental energy when using it. Again, possible, interesting, worth studying, not guaranteed. Now we need to talk about dosage, because this is where education can accidentally become prescription. Chapter 6 lists a general supplemental range of approximately 500 to 2,000 milligrams per day and discusses common practices such as taking ALCAR before exercise, between meals, or splitting doses. Those are common supplemental practices, but I want this video to be even more precise. Research has used many different doses depending on the condition being studied. Some neurological ALCAR trials have used amounts higher than that. Carnitine weight management trials have also used different forms and doses, and current evidence does not establish that taking ALCAR 30 minutes before exercise while fasting or at a particular time of day creates a special fat-burning window. So I am not going to give you a universal, take this much at this time. That belongs between you and your healthcare professional. If someone decides to use ALCAR, the appropriate amount may depend on health conditions, medications, age, kidney function, the specific product, and why it is being used. And this is also why I want viewers to become comfortable asking, what exact form of carnitine did this study use? Was it L-carnitine, ALCAR, L-carnitine, L-tartrate, another form? Those details matter. A supplement label saying carnitine does not automatically make every study interchangeable. Any conversation about a supplement should include safety. ALCAR and other carnitine supplements are generally well tolerated in research, but that does not mean side effects are impossible. The NIH notes that carnitine supplements at amounts around 3 grams per day or more can cause nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, diarrhea, and a fishy body odor. There are additional cautions for people with seizure disorders and certain forms of kidney disease, and medications can interact with carnitine metabolism. There is also ongoing research around carnitine gut bacteria and a compound called TMAO, which has been associated with cardiovascular risk. What that means clinically over the long term is still being studied. So again, don't panic, don't ignore it either. If you have a chronic condition, take medications regularly, have a seizure history, or have impaired kidney function, speak with your healthcare professional before adding carnitine supplements. And when you purchase supplements, remember that dietary supplements do not go through the same FDA pre-market approval process as prescription drugs. Quality matters. Consider reputable companies and independent third-party testing when possible. So after all of that research, where do I personally place Alcar? Not at the center. That may surprise you. I place it in the... Because supplementation works best when the foundation already exists. If nutrition is chaotic, Alcar cannot fix that. If protein intake is inadequate, Alcar cannot replace protein. If you're not using your muscles, Alcar cannot replace resistance training. If you're sleeping 4 hours a night, no supplement can fully compensate for that. And if every health decision is coming from fear, punishment, or desperation, another bottle on the counter is probably not the missing piece. This is why our approach goes beyond supplements. Matters because your body needs a reason to maintain strength, muscle, mobility, and capacity. Matters because nutrition, sleep, stress, and recovery shape the environment in which your body operates. And matters because the person who believes wellness is punishment behaves very differently from the person who believes wellness is self-care. A supplement is one tool. The system is bigger. And that is exactly what we are building in our new wellness program. If you want to go deeper than this one Alcar conversation, I invite you to learn more about the program using the link below. Inside, we bring the pieces together, including AE, so you can understand the different supplements we discuss and the role each one may play, rather than randomly buying whatever is trending online. But we don't stop there. We connect supplementation with, because strength and metabolic health require action, and we connect it with, because long-term wellness is ultimately built by the choices you repeat and the person you are becoming. Is not designed around one magic pill. It is designed around alignment, understanding your body, supporting it intelligently, moving it consistently, and building habits you can actually live with. If you want more information, click the link in the description below. And remember the most important lesson from today's conversation. But it does not directly cause fat loss. Fat loss still comes from the bigger picture. Nutrition, movement, recovery, consistency, and time. That is where sustainable change lives. Take what serves you, leave the rest. And remember, if you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to STARR Wellness Solutions, and share it with someone who has been wondering whether supplements actually belong in a healthy fat loss plan. I'll see you in the next one.